What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new transfer talk video. We're going to be speaking about Manor Solomon today and what Tottenham and Leeds United need to do in order to get a deal done for the Israeli winger. Reportedly, Leeds United are in for Emi Buendia. Bit of a note on Jack Rudoni as well, and two updates on goalkeepers I mentioned before. And I'm going to throw in a new one as well as an alternative to Keller, who we do know now will cost £20 million, but could be heading to Brentford. So I'm going to give you that as well. And also Leeds United owners, 49ers, have secured the ownership of Rangers. So we're going to speak about that in a bit, but let's just get straight into it. Manor Solomon has been told by Tottenham he is surplus to requirements. Ange Postecoglou doesn't want him. Daniel Levy says he's free to find a new club this summer, but it will only be for the right price. Now, before we was hearing reports of 13 to 17 million, which I know a lot of you were in for, well, apparently it's now up to £20 million as he's got a bit of time on his contract, and it looks like Tottenham want to get the best deal possible. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be 20 million. It could be that they meet in the middle somewhere, but Daniel Levy isn't going to make this cheap, as we probably assumed he wouldn't. But all it is for me with this Manor Solomon thing is it's not a position of need. So it's one that I feel Leeds United should be concluding very soon. This one can't run over the summer. I don't think it should be a saga. It should be, does Manor Solomon want to come? What will Leeds United prepared to pay, and will Tottenham accept? And it really should be there. We've had Solomon for the year. We know he's durable once he got fit. He's played 39 matches, and that's one more than a Premier League season, so he'll be good to go, barring injuries, but that's the same for any player. It's more of a case now in terms of just not letting this drag on over the summer. We've got more positions that need filling, and more urgently as well. We need to fill in some key areas of the team, and to spend a long time on just Manor Solomon, it doesn't seem right when we've got Nonto and Ramazani on that side. So for me, it's more about timing. I just hope Leeds United and Spurs can get to a deal soon. Apparently Everton are interested, but according to reports, Solomon would prefer Leeds over Everton. So it's not that he's ruled out everybody else, but we're kind of going to need him to do that in order to get this deal done. So it's just easier to negotiate with Tottenham so that other teams can't come in. If Solomon just says outright, Leeds United is the move I want, please make it happen. But we'll see if when anything further develops. But the latest development is Tottenham have said that he is free to leave. Sebastian Vidal of Mercato, who are they're okay. They're hit and miss, but they do get some things right. But he reported this morning that Emi Buendia could be on his way to Leeds United. The newly promoted side are preparing a 16.8 million bid for the Aston Villa playmaker. Unai Emery has given his blessing, and Buendia is ready for a fresh start. Daniel Farke hopes to reunite him at Ellen Road. And we know this because we tried to get him last summer and this January as well, with the interest then as well before he went to Leverkusen. The only difference is now with Emi Buendia is that we're in the position of strength. Whereas last summer we could have really done with it Buendia in the Championship, because that would have been good to see if he could have proved his fitness like Solomon and, really, shown the old Buendia what he used to be, because he hasn't been that player for a couple of years now. And whether that's through fitness or just lack of game time, it hasn't been there. But whereas we were in the need in the summer and even in January, where Brendan was slowing down a bit and we could have done with another 10 like a Buendia, now we're in the Premier League. He's surplus to requirements at Villa. Hasn't gone well for him at Leverkusen. He needs us more than we need him, because for me, there are better options out there. I've mentioned him many times, but I mention him again. Bacharina is there for £20 million. If you can get him for £4 million more, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. If £3 million more, it's about £21 million actually. I'm taking him over Buendia every day of the week. Even Gus Harmer, if you're giving me the choice out of Buendia and Harmer and you're making me choose, it's Harmer all day long. We're talking present day now. They're both 28 years old or 27 for Harmer. But it's one of those where Harmer's been the more consistent player over the last couple of years. He's more available. He's more robust as well in terms of just getting around the pitch a bit better. I just feel like the Buendia train, it shouldn't be a 16.8 one. Now, this 16.8 could be an initial bid, or it could be all in, including add-ons. It doesn't really say. But if it's just because it's a reunion with Daniel Farke, I don't know if that's the right way to recruit. I honestly don't, especially when you've got other players out there that I feel could probably give you more at this stage of where they're at. Now, Buendia, it could be a case that he goes to a new club now, permanent home, and he finds the form that he used to have. That's the best case scenario. But if you're looking at the Buendia that I've seen, and I've seen him play when he gets the chances at Villa, saw him a couple times for Leverkusen as well, he weren't it. He just wasn't it. So for me, there's big red flags for this one, especially when for me there's others out there. But listen, give me your thoughts in the comments. Would you go for Buendia for 16.8 million? Let me know. Just an update on Jack Rudoni, who I mentioned yesterday, 23 years old, going to be 24 when the season starts. A couple of the other interested clubs in him, and I think it's pretty telling. One thrown in there is Newcastle, and I'm not sure where he'd even play at Newcastle. I don't even know he gets on the bench. But the other clubs in the main that are interested are Sheffield United, Leicester City, and Southampton, who are all playing Championship football next year. And that, for me, that lines up. That makes more sense to me than someone like Newcastle. In terms of Rodoni, it's not that he hasn't got talent. He's a decent player, but he's literally had his best season of his career just last season. And Coventry are looking for, it said in the article, triple or quadruple what they paid. They paid 5 million. So they're looking for a lot of money for Jack Rodoni. And just for me at this stage, I wouldn't want Leeds to take the risk on this guy. It's one of those again where Callum O'Hare was free and he had the choice to go to the Premier League with a couple of clubs, or he went with Sheffield United. And he went Sheffield United, and it turned out to be the right spot for him because he started off well at Sheffield United. Him and Harmon were striking up a good relationship, but there was only one player in the end that was getting rotated and dropped, and it wasn't Gus Harmer. It was Callum O'Hare, because he was starting to drift in and out of games. Saw it myself when watching Sheffield United games. Not saying Rudoni's the same. Rudoni's a more physical player. Completely get that. But for the price that Coventry will probably be looking for, I believe Leeds United should be better off going elsewhere. But yeah, just wanted to give an update on the kind of clubs that are in for Jack Rudoni this summer, reportedly so far. Now, updates on a couple of goalkeepers I've mentioned. First of all, Yehvann Diouf, who plays in Rhyme. They got relegated yesterday. They're out of League One now. They lost their playoff to Metz, and they will be leaving the league. Diouf, for me, is, if you look across, he's one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, if you like those statistics. But even on the eye test, he keeps you in games. And I've said it already with goalkeepers, they save you points, and we're going to need that next season. And he is very, very astute at everything that is good in terms of shot stopping, reflexes, decision making. He is up there. And when he does leave Rhyme, he won't be staying there in the second division in France. It's not happening. The only thing against it is that there is interest from Lille, so he could want to stay in France, which could go against anyone else. But if there is a deal to be done for Yehvann Diouf, you absolutely have to go for him. Someone mentioned about African Cup of Nations. It's no problem. You get yourself a good number two. And that's what you have to do. We should be doing that anyway. If we're doing things right, we should be going for a number one goalkeeper and a solid number two. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just someone you can rely on. Ideally, you want two new goalkeepers, push Darlow to number three, and move on to Cairns and Melier. That would be the idealistic thing. Because for me, you have to be aiming for 12th. We're aiming to survive. That is the name of the game. But I always say, if you're going to aim for 17th, you're going to probably finish 20th. So you need to be doing like a Crystal Palace have done. They have Dean Henderson. They had Sam Johnston. Sam Johnston is way less than Dean Henderson. But if Dean Henderson goes out for whatever reason, they're not sweating too much with Sam Johnston in goal. And that's what we're going to have to do when Diouf goes away for the African Cup of Nations on the occasions that he has to. Happens with Salah for Liverpool. Happens with many other clubs that deal with that as well. So we wouldn't be unique with that. But he is absolutely out there to get, and would be a solid upgrade, especially for Leeds United at this point. Another goalkeeper that I mentioned before is Kepa, who is obviously at Chelsea, contracted to Chelsea, had a brilliant season at Bournemouth. Mentioned before that Leverkusen were in for him, but obviously now with the news of Mark Flecken going to Leverkusen, it means that Kepa won't be going there. So again, Chelsea need to sell. They need to balance the books a bit as well. And Kepa, as an experienced goalkeeper who is very astute at a lot of things, including penalty saves as well, people, he would be perfect for me in terms of a goalkeeper. If we were able to get him, I would love to be in that conversation. And sticking with Chelsea, we've been linked with him briefly before, but Djordje Petrovic, who was on loan at Strasbourg last year, would be a brilliant signing as an alternative to Kelleher. Don't know how much he would go for. It'd probably be less than Kelleher as well. But the thing with that is that he could be loaned back to Strasbourg, who are Chelsea's sister club in a way, as they're going into Europe, and he had a real good year there. But if they could be looking to sell for PSR reasons, and Petravic is just a dominant goalkeeper, and again is somebody I would love Leeds United to be in a conversation for. So see, people, there's options out there. There's so many options. It isn't just Kelleher or bust. There are other options. And just to close out the video, as this was like announced not long after I set this whole thing up. But the 49ers global group of takeover of Rangers is imminent. An announcement is expected shortly. So there you go. I think Joe's joking there with the sister club this summer, but yeah, it does look like 49ers takeover is done. Again, according to the 49ers thing, it's going to have nothing to do with Leeds United. It's not going to affect, no money's going to be taken out of Leeds transfer budget to supplement Rangers. It's two different arms of the 49ers, people. So nothing to worry about there. But maybe it does, give us the ease to do business with Rangers a lot easier in the future if we need to, say, loan a player out there, or take one of their better players if they've got any out there. It could make it easier in that way, as other clubs have benefited as well, a la USG and Brighton and everything else. So there you go. 49ers have taken over Rangers. So now they own Rangers and Leeds United. And that is the update today, people. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like the video. Free to do, helps out the channel immensely. If you want to help out in other ways, super thanks via the comment section is very welcome as well. And big up to all members of the channel for the support. Appreciate every single one of you. Till the next time, peace out.